Good morning, everyone. So this is Suresh. This is our first class. From today onwards, we are going to discuss with the core Java. So after completion of the core Java, we'll try to move on to the Spring, and in the Spring, we'll try to cover up with the version concepts here, like 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, and after completion of the Spring, we'll move on to the Spring Boot here. So like after completion of the Spring Boot, we are going to work with microservices and React.js. So this is our agenda. So basically, we start from the core Java, and once the core Java is finished, we'll move on to the Spring. Getting the point. So in the Spring, we'll try to cover up with so the three versions like 3.0, like 2.0, 3.0, and 4.0. So after completion of this particular Spring, we'll move on to the Spring Boot. Getting the point. So in the Spring Boot, well, like we'll try to cover up with the variations with the Spring, and with the Spring Boot, we are going to like work with what are the same example which we are going to implement in the Spring version. So getting the point, so that we can understand here the difference between Spring and Spring Boot here. So after completion of this particular Spring Boot, we'll try to check with the microservices. Right. So finally, we'll try to check with our React.js here. Getting the point. So this is our the training agenda here. So we'll start from the core Java here. So inside this particular core Java, we'll try to check with the basic features here, and after completion of these features here, we'll move on to the examples here, and 1.8 features here. After completion of the 1.8 features, we'll check with the collection frameworks, multi-threading, right, exception handling, the packages and the classes interfaces. So these we are going to cover in the core Java. Okay, getting the point. So we'll start from the core Java. So basically, so before going to start here, anyone having any knowledge in C or C++ language? So I'm not going to ask any questions here, just for understanding. Anyone having any knowledge?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So basically, good. So why I'm asking here, the Java is introduced from the C and C++ language here. So don't worry, so most of the people they does not have a knowledge here. So no problem. So we are not going to focus on the more on the C and C++ here. So we'll check with the Java, like what are the syntaxes we need to follow to create a simple application in Java here. So I'm requesting here, can you please mute yourself? So some of the people are still unmuted. I'm requesting everyone, can you please mute yourself? Okay. So back to here. So before going to start, like as I explained here, Java is going to copy the syntaxes which are available in the C and C++. The syntaxes are copied from the C, and object-oriented features are copied from the C++ language here. So don't worry, like what are the syntax and what are the object-oriented features here. So directly we can check within Java the syntaxes how we are going to follow, and what exactly the object-oriented features we have here. Okay, on the day-to-day classes we are going to discuss here the syntaxes and object-oriented features here. Okay, so that is identified here. So basically now directly we'll back to the Java here. So when this particular Java is introduced here, getting the point. So this is important here. In the 1991 the Java is introduced here. So it's taken around 18 months. So to develop the initial version, like we are going to call it the 1.0, the 1.0 version is taken around 18 months here. But here, after taking the 18 months, the first version is failed here. Getting the point. So with the help of these many people, they introduce the Java language here. So what are the people here? The first one called, so James here. Getting the point. James Gosling here, and we'll have a different people here. Patrick. So I'm not going to write the more the full name of the person. So just for understanding, I'm trying to provide the name of the people here. So James and Patrick Cherry. So and Ed Frank here. So here 5 people are implemented Java language initially. So what when this particular version is the 1.0 version is released, so it's released in 1991. So it's taken around 18 months to release the first version of Java language here. Getting the point. So this is the basic information we need. And after completion of this particular, the initial version, so when they introduce into the market, the initial version is failed here. Getting the point. So when they re-implemented this particular Java language here. So in the 1995, so with the help of other people, they implemented another version. So that is called 1.6, 1.2. So from the 1.2 onwards, the application is going on successfully. So sorry, the Java language is going on successfully here. Getting the point. So in the 1995, they renamed to initially. So they the language name called Oak. Getting the point. So initially, while developing this particular Java language, so the name of this particular language they made as a Oak here. But in the 1995, they renamed it to Java here. Getting the point. So these are the basic information we need here. So initially they released it in the 1991. It is taken around 18 months to develop this particular Java language here. The name of the initial version called Oak here. So when the initial name is renamed to the Java in the 1995, so it's renamed to Java here. Getting the point. So this is the basic information we need. But in the initial version of this particular Java language, so they cannot develop the internet applications here. So what exactly the internet application will contain here? So now you can see any e-commerce application, banking application, any school university related application, getting the point, financial related application. So these are comes under the internet applications here. But using the Java language, we cannot develop the internet applications here. Getting the point. So initial version, we used to develop the application so printers application, scanners application. Getting the point. So these are the applications we used to develop with the help of the initial versions here. But when this particular applets are introduced, getting the point. So once the applets are introduced, with the help of the applets, we used to develop the internet applications here. Getting the point. So this very important information. So along with this, with the help of this particular applets here, so we used to get a more security on our application with the help of this particular Java language here. So basically, how we are going to get a security here. So with the help of any application, we are going to develop the Java applets here. Now what happens internally? So in the browser side, the applets are going to download once the applets are going to download it, so the applets are going to take care of the application what we can call it as a monitoring the application here. So applets are going to monitor our application. So with the help of this particular monitoring, we used to get a security of our application here. But nowadays we are not going to develop the application. So without the applets, we are going to get. But internally, still we are using the applets here. So externally, with the help of the applets, we are not going to develop any applications here. Getting the point. So for external uses, the applets are deprecated here because the compiler, so which is going to take more time, and the application is also very high. So getting the point. So now, mute, most of the people are still in mute. I think, okay. So all the people are unmuted here. So back to here. Okay. Now what I want to do, so this is our basic agenda to introduce our Java language here. And we'll start with a simple example here. So how exactly the simple examples are, it's like with the help of this particular simple syntax, how we can follow the simple example. First, what we need to do, before going to start this particular simple example, so we need to download the Java here. So where we can download here. So just I want to provide the basic information regarding the Java, how we can download here. Let's see. So Java download for Windows. So this is not our Java website. So basically we need to go to the Oracle website here. So inside this particular Oracle website, now you can see, so the current version we are having Java SE 16 here. So but we cannot download this particular 16 here. So up to SE 8 we can download here. So now you can see you can download this particular JDK. So once you download this particular JDK, now you can get the for Windows, we are going to get an exe file. We can download the particular exe file. After completion of this particular exe file, now what we need to do? So we need to set in this particular environment variable. So this is very important here. So inside this particular program files, so Java, I'm having so the 13 version of Java. So we need to copy this particular environment variable up to this particular home directory. So where we need to set inside this particular property, go to this particular advanced system settings, environment variable. So here you can see I'm having Java underscore home. So same thing you need to set here. So this is our home directory, and inside this particular path up to this particular bin folder we need to set up to this particular bin folder. Okay, so back to here. Now what I want to do after completion of this particular environment variable setting here, so where we can go, so just click on your command prompt. Yes, I muted everyone, so you cannot unmute. So command prompt. So like once you are setting the environment variable, now you can see, so Java. Just click on Java here. You are going to get in these many information here. So once you are getting this particular information, the environment variable is successfully set in. Getting the point. The environment variable, we have completed the settings information. So if you want to find out the Java version here, now you can see, so just click on Java icon version here. So now you can see what is the current version I'm having here. The version I'm having here, 13 version here. So now you can see this is the current Java version which is running in my system here. Getting the point. So this is the way we can set our environment variable, and after this we can set this particular the Java version. So we are going to get a version information here. Okay. So now what we need to do. So to complete this particular section here, first what we need to do, we need to focus on the features here. Getting the point. So Java features. Basically, the features are going to provide the more information on the particular Java language here. So what exactly the features are available here? The first feature here, something called simple. Simple. So why we are going to call as a Java is a simple language here? Basically, so compared to the C and C++ language here, Java is some important concept here. What are the important concepts are eliminated here? The important concepts are called pointers here. So along with this particular pointers here, so Java is reduced the some syntaxes here compared to the our C and C++ language here. So because of these pointers and some of the syntax information, we are going to call Java as a simple language here. So if you know the basic syntaxes here, we can develop the applications or we can develop the simple examples here. So basically, if you are trying to download the ID, so ID cannot open if you does not have a Java here. If it is ID is opening already, Java is already installed in your system here. First check whether the Java is installed or not. Okay, so back to here. So now we understand here the first feature called simple here, and we need to check with another feature called secure. So the secure we already identified here with the help of this particular Java applets here. Java applets here, we are going to get a security here. So how we are going to get an security? Basically, so it's like what happens internally, the Java applets are going to run on the browser side. If you are trying to select any information from the browser here, what happens internally? So in the browser side, applets are going to download and the applets are going to monitor the application here. So with the help of this particular Java applets here, so we are going to get another application secured here. Getting the point. So because of this particular Java applets here, we are going to get a security. So this is also one of the features here. And after this, portable here. So this is very important here. Portable here. So basically, what exactly this portable will contain here? So imagine here, now I implemented the application in the Windows environment here. So this is our internet application here. Getting the point. The same application which is going to access by with a different operating systems here. Right. So if you are trying to access the same application with a different operating system here, so we can easily access this same application without getting any exceptions here. So this kind of feature is going to provided by the portable here. Getting the point. So basically the portable is going to take care of the different operating systems as well. So it's going to provide the access to the different operating systems here. So and another one we identified object oriented. So basically, so we cannot understand here object oriented as of now here. So I will check with the object oriented after completion of our so the basic syntax examples here. Okay. So we'll see object oriented, how exactly this particular object oriented will work here. And another one called robust here. So basically compared to the C and C++ language here, in the C and C++, what we are going to do, we used to provide the memory allocation here. Getting the point. So in the Java, like what happens here, so even though if you provide the memory allocation here, so the deallocation is going to taken care by the Java here. So deallocation is nothing but if the objects are not used here. Getting the point. So this section is important here. Try to understand here. Basically, we are going to create objects here. After completion of this particular object usage here, so we need to delete those objects here. Getting the point. So this particular delete section is going to handle by the garbage collection here. So the garbage collection we are going to call as a deallocation here. The deallocation is section is going to handle by the garbage collection here. Internally is going to check with this particular object. So objects we are going to access with the reference here. The references are not used anyway. garbage collection come into the picture, is going to take care of the deallocation of the objects here. So because of this particular garbage collection, getting the point. Because of this particular garbage collection, we used to make our application with robust here. Robust is nothing but we can make the application strong here. Getting the point. So this is also very important feature we are having here. And another one called here multi-threading here. Multi-threading here. So like how exactly this particular multi-threading feature is going to work here. So basically multi-threading is nothing but like we're giving an option, like after developing application we can, like we are giving an option to access the multiple users at a time here. Getting the point. So like if the same application is going to access by the multiple users here, so we need to share the same data to the multiple users here. Getting the point. So basically the simple example here, imagine here, so e-commerce website here. E-commerce website here. So with the help of this particular e-commerce website, what happens internally? This is our, okay. So this is the simple e-commerce website here. So sometimes what happens here, we are having one item here. So this particular item we are trying to sell here. The same item, multiple users they are trying to book this particular item for. So we doesn't know how many users they are trying to book this particular item. So for example, 4 users they are trying to book the same item here, but we cannot give the same item to the 4 users. So we can provide the item to only one user. The remaining user we need to provide the information, something called the item is sold out. So how we are going to achieve here? Getting the point. So first here, if we want to handle this particular application with the multiple users here, we can develop the application with the help of this particular multi-threading here. And after developing the application with the help of this particular multi-threading here, so we cannot give this particular item to the 4 users here. So these kind of scenarios how we can handle here. So internally we are going to have the one important concept called synchronization here. Getting the point. So with the help of this particular synchronization, so we are going to make some locking system here. Getting the point. So we are going to make the locking system here. With the help of this particular synchronization concept here, only one user can get this particular item, and the remaining 3 users, so they are going to get a message here, something called item is sold out. So based on our application availability, so we are going to provide the different messages here. Getting the point. But here, so to access the multiple users here, how we are going to develop with the help of this particular multi-threading here. So we'll see in our upcoming classes here how exactly the multi-threading is going to work here. So to work with the multi-threading, so what are the basic syntaxes we need to follow? So these are the sections we are going to see in our upcoming classes here. Right. And one of the one more important feature here, architectural neutral here. So this is also very important here, architecture neutral. Getting the point. So this is also one important feature we are discussing here. So basically what happens here? So now I'm trying to implement the application with the help of this particular window, some version here, something called 8 version. Getting the point. So after 10 days, what happened here? My window version is upgraded to 10 version here. Getting the point. So like we have developed the application, something called like we developed the 1.2 modules with the help of 1.8 version. The window 1.8 version. After 10 days, So we release one more version. So I upgraded to 1.10. So what happens internally, even though if we upgrade this particular 1.10 version, so the existing code, we cannot get any exceptions here. Getting the point? So this is important here. The existing code, we cannot get any exceptions here. So that is going to taken care by this feature called architecture neutral here. Right. So this concept we are going to call write once, reuse anywhere. Same way, the same application is going to access by the anywhere here. The same application is going to access by the anywhere. Even though it is in the Windows operating system, Linux operating system, any other operating system here. So we are not going to get any exception here. So the feature we are going to call as a architecture usage here. So these are the basic features we are trying to discuss here. Getting the point. So any questions regarding this particular Java features here? Okay. So observe here, after completion of this particular features here, now I'm going to write with a simple example. So basically, I want to provide the version information, like what are the 1.2 version is introduced and 1.3, 1.4, 1.5. But now I'm not going to discuss this information right now. So after completion of the basic syntax example here, so we'll back to the Java versions here, so that you are going to have some understanding here. So in the 1.2, one version or 1.2 version, so what are the changes happen here? So up to 1.8 we are going to discuss here. Up to 1.8, the changes between the each version we are going to discuss here. Okay. So observe here. So up to completion of our core Java, we are going to use the Notepad++ only. So once the core Java is completed, we'll move on to the IDE here. So I will explain here. So which IDE is the best one. But now for the core Java, we used to implement the simple basic example using this particular Notepad++. So basically, why I'm using this particular Notepad here? So if you are missing any syntaxes here while compiling the code, we are going to get an error here. So to understand them more, we can work with Notepad++ here. If you are directly you are working with the IDE itself is going to provide the error information. The IDE itself internally is going to provide the error information. So we cannot understand the more here. Okay. So back to here. Close here. So this is a simple example we are going to work here. After completion of this particular simple example, if anyone having any question, please let me know. Okay. So basically, any example or any application we are going to develop with the help of this particular Java language here. So it's going to start from the class here. So basically, this is the keyword here. Getting the point. So this is the one of the keyword here. And after defining this particular keyword here, we need to provide the name of the class. What is the name of the class? Now I'm providing the name of the class called example here. So observe here, I'm opening one brace here. I'm opening one brace here. So let me increase the font size here. Something maybe two like this. Preferences. Somewhere I identified no. Maybe already. Okay. Okay. So let me check with 24. I think this is enough. So back to your class here. Example here. So with the help of this particular example, name of the class called example here. And you can see after this particular example, I'm trying to open the brace here. So we'll try to focus on the different kind of braces here. So what is the purpose of this particular each brace here? So just see the simple example here. So now what I'm doing here, I'm trying to define the name of the class called example. After completion of this particular name of the class, now what I'm doing here, I'm trying to define some other keywords here. Getting the point. So carefully observe here. So this is also one of the keyword called public. Same way, static is also keyword here. Void also keyword here. So we'll provide the more information on the each keyword here. Observe here how I'm writing this simple example. Getting the point. So this is the simple example I'm trying to create here. So now whenever we are trying to create any example like any class here, so we used to save with the same class name. Observe here, I'm copying the example here. I'm going for the saving purpose here. Let's see. So insert this particular core Java. So example. What is the extension we are having? .java. So below you can see the extension we are trying to save this particular file name with the .java here. Okay. So this is completed here. Again, we need to go back to the same folder. Now we created core Java here. Open with the command prompt. Open with the command prompt here. Now you can see. So now we are inside this particular folder called D drive core Java. So to compile this particular example, now what we need to do? So observe carefully. The keywords are important here. Java C and name of the class. So what is the class we are trying to compile here? The name of the class we need to provide here. So with the help of this particular extensions as well here. Java C. So what is the purpose of this particular Java C command? So it's going to compile our code which we implemented inside this particular class called example.java file. Getting the point. After providing this information, just click on enter here. So now what it will do internally, which is going to compile the code. So observe here, if I'm going move on to this particular folder, so previously we don't have this particular .class file. We don't have this particular .class file. If I'm going to open this particular .class file with the help of this particular Notepad++ here, now what happening internally? So which is going to have the bytecode format here. Basically, this information is going to understand by our JVM here. Each operating system will have one JVM here. The JVM is going to understand this particular .class file information here. So the .class file will contain the bytecode format here. Okay. So we'll see like how exactly this particular bytecode is going to work. Now, so back to here. After completion of this particular Java compilation, now what we need to do? So we need to run our application. So to run our application, what is the command we need to use? Java And here we need to provide the name of the class. Name of the class here. So just click on enter here. What happened internally? So like we did not provide the class name properly. So now you can see Java compile here. Sorry, Java example here. So what is the message we are getting here? Welcome to Java here. Welcome to Java. So again, I want to provide the more information here. Basically, Java C, this particular command is used to compile the code, and this command, Java command, is going to run our application here. So these are the two commands are very important here. Getting the point. So when we are trying to compile our code, here we are going to provide the file name here with the extension here. What is the file name here? Example.java. Getting the point. So whenever we are trying to run our application, we are not going to provide the file name with the extension here. We are going to provide the class name here. So what is the class we want to run? Getting the point. So this is the difference between compiling and executing the code. Right. So back to here, what I want to do, I want to provide the information here. So basically, this particular class section we can see in our upcoming classes here. But just for our understanding here, now what I'm doing here. So class is a keyword. It is used to create a name of the class here. Right. So what is the name of the class we are creating? Example. So it is completed. Back to here, public here. So what is the purpose of this particular keyword called public here? Right. So basically, public is a access modifier here. Public is a access modifier. So basically, with the help of this particular access modifier, we can restrict our application here. So what are the access modifiers we are having here? The first one called private. So protected and public default. So default is nothing but if you are not providing any access modifier here. Getting the point. Basically, these are the three access modifiers. If I'm not providing any these three modifiers, we are going to call as a default access modifier. Getting the point. Default access modifier. So we are not going to provide this particular keyword called default here. So basically, we are not going to use any keyword here. So this section we are going to call as a default. So we'll see more on this particular access modifier here. Like what are the access modifiers we are having? So these many access modifiers we are going to have in our Java language. So in that we are going to discuss this particular public here. So basically public is nothing but we can access this particular method anywhere. The main method is going to access from the anywhere here. So there is no restrictions here. So public is nothing but we can access from the anywhere here. So opposite to this particular public here, private here. So this particular private, wherever we are making this particular private here, so which is going to access within the class here. It cannot be accessed from the outside of this particular class. Getting the point. So just get the basic understanding here why we are using this particular public here. Basically, this particular main method. So the main is a method here. The method is going to call from the JVM here. The method is going to call from the JVM. We are not going to call from the anywhere here. So if the method is calling from the JVM, if I'm going to making this particular public as a private here, what happens internally? So the private will have some restrictions here. The private will have some restrictions here. So whenever we are making this particular method as a private here, so within the class is nothing but within the example class only we can access here. If I'm trying to access from the outside of class, so for example, I'm creating one more class here. So just for understanding here, so this is the example 2. From this particular example 2, we cannot call our main method here. because the main method having some restriction with the help of this particular access modifier. So now what you are understanding here, again I'm trying to make with the public here. Basically, this main method is going to call from the JVM. This main method is going to call from the JVM. Right. If I'm going to make the private, cannot call the main method, JVM cannot call this particular main method here. Right. So this keyword, anyone having any questions regarding this particular public keyword? So basically, just for understanding here, the main method is going to call from the outside of this particular. So to call here, we cannot make any restrictions here. If we don't want to make any restrictions here, directly we can go for the public here. So observe carefully. Basically, whenever we are making any methods in Java, the methods are going to call by some locations here. So for example, observe here in the example2 class, so public void test method. In the point. So this is the one test method here. System dot out dot println here. Now I'm trying to print something here. Getting the point. So I'm closing this particular brace here. So test brace is open here and which is closed here. Basically, now what I want to provide here, if I want to call this particular test method, we need a reference here. So to call this particular test method, what I'm doing here, example2 ex is equals to new example2. Getting the point. New example2 with the help of this particular ex dot test. So whenever I'm calling ex dot test, what happens internally? So the test method we define inside this particular example2 class, which is going to call here. So carefully observe here with the help of this particular numbers I can explain here. Basically, so this is the construct of the class. We can discuss more in our upcoming classes here. So this is our name of the class here. So this is the reference variable here. So this is the new keyword here. So carefully observe here with the help of this particular new keyword here. Now what we are doing here? We are trying to create an object here. So what type of object we are creating here? The type of object here we are creating here, example2. Getting the point. So with the help of this particular new keyword, we are creating an object called example2 here. Now the object is going to store in the variable called ex here. Right. So with the help of this particular reference variable, now what I'm doing is I'm trying to call the method called text. So basically in Java language, if I'm going to define any method like this, here, so we need to call from the some location here. The calling here. So this is the section called called. Getting the point. So this section we are going to call as a calling here. Getting the point. So this is the difference between calling and called here. From the calling, this particular called method is going to execute. Right. Same way, if I'm going to apply the same functional to this particular main method here. So basically, we define the main method here. Whenever we define the method here, now what happens internally? The method, it needs to call from the some other location here. Getting the point. This particular main method is going to call from the JVM here. So observe here, we are having JVM here. Getting the point? We are having JVM here. Inside this particular JVM, so with the help of J dot main, J dot main. J is a reference of this particular JVM. Just understanding I'm explaining here. J dot main. What happens internally? So this particular main is going to call this particular main method here. This particular main method is going to call whatever the main method we implemented in our example class. So carefully observe here. From the JVM, we are calling the main method. Our example class main method is going to execute here. Right. So if I'm going to make this particular method as a private here, so JVM, this particular main method is going to get an error here. This particular main method is going to get an error here. Why? Because the private access modifier will have some restrictions here. Outside of this particular example class, we cannot access here. But now what we are doing here, the main method we are calling from the outside of this particular example class. So because of this particular calling from the outside here, we are making this particular method as a public here. Getting the point? Any questions here? Still anyone having any questions regarding this particular public keyword here? So basically, we'll have a more information when we're trying to discuss this particular access modifier in our upcoming classes here. Only one instance is going to run. So based on the threads, it's going to run, but so this code is not going to give any error here. We already executed the example here, and we already identified the message also here. So this section of this particular message we already identified in our console here. Okay. So some people they are asking, this code is giving an error here. Identifier expected 13 to 14 here. So basically, just for understanding here, I'm trying to providing this information here. I'm not going to run the example 2 here, but how exactly the methods are going to call internally. Observe here. Java C example.java is compiled successfully. Java example here. The second one, just for understanding, I'm giving here. I did not follow the syntax here, so don't worry. So basically, the code, the second one, we written for the understanding the method purpose here. So how these particular methods are going to call here. Okay. Okay, you can debug like, so what is the error you are getting here? So back to here. Now what I want to do, I want to provide the static here. So what is the purpose of this particular static here? Now we understand here public here. Getting the point. So basically, why we are using the public here? The method is calling from the outside of this particular class. So to access this particular main method, we need a public access modifier here, because we don't want to make any restrictions here. Right. So this is a simple answer here. So back to your static here. So now the previous example, what we did here, if you observe here, the example 2, we are creating one object here. Getting the point? We are creating one object here. Right. With the help of this particular object here, we are calling this particular test here. So test is a method we define inside this particular example 2. Getting the point? So now what happens internally? So internally inside this particular JVM, if we want to call this particular main method, so what are the steps we need to follow here? First, we need to create a object of this particular example. With the help of this particular example reference here, we need to call the method called main method. So how we are calling here? So carefully observe these two lines here, important here. So example 2 is our one more class here. So with the help of this particular example 2, now what we are doing here, we are creating an object here. So with the help of this particular object reference, we need to call, we are calling the test method. So same way, so I'm going back to the inside this particular JVM here. Observe here, so just imagine this is our JVM here. So to call our main method, what we need to do? First we need to create our object here. So what is our name of the class we are having? Example here. Okay. Instead of this, so I will open this paint here. So it's going to give more information here. So imagine, so this is our JVM here. So inside this particular JVM, if we want to call the main method, what are the steps we need to create here? Example ex is equals to new ex example here. So don't worry the constructor sections and everything we can see in our upcoming classes here. After creating this particular object here with the help of this particular example, we are going to call the main method. But where we need to define this particular code here? Getting the point? Where we need to define here? Inside the main method, sorry, inside the JVM, we need to define these two lines of code here. Okay. So just imagine we have a scope to define these two lines of code inside this particular JVM. Right. Now we are calling the main method. The main method is going to call here the line number 2, and we are trying to doing some operations here. Getting the point? So we are doing some operation here. After completion of this particular operations here, again, so we are going to back to the line number call something. After this main method is executed, we'll back to so if I'm going to provide the line number 1, line number 2, so this is the line number 3. After executing this particular main method, which is going to back to the line number 3. Now, so what is the use of this particular object here? So we call the main method and we executed our operations, like whatever the code we are going to write inside the main method, we executed here. But still, this object is existed here. This object is existed here. So with the help of this particular object, we are not going to do anything here. We are not going to do anything inside the JVM here. So just think about it. Now we are inside the JVM. We created the one object here. So with the help of this particular object here, we are calling the main method. Whenever we are calling the main method, our class main method is going to execute it. Our operations are complete. We'll go back to our JVM. So now inside the JVM, line number 3, now we are in the line number 3. Right. So what we can do? So any other operation we can perform with the help of this particular object. With the help of this particular object here, we are not going to perform any operations here. Just for calling here, getting the point? Just for calling the main method. Now what we are doing here, we are creating an object here. So just for calling here, we don't want to create any object inside the JVM. Right. So we don't want to call any, or like we don't want to create any object here. So call it the method here. So that is going to achieve with the help of this particular static here. With the help of this particular static here. Basically, what it will do, this particular static here. So static is going to provide, without creating an object, we can call the particular method here. But like, what is the syntax we need to follow here? Basically, whenever we are trying to use this particular static keyword here, so with the help of this particular name of the class, we are going to call the main method here. So this line is going to implement it inside this particular JVM. Inside the JVM. So observe carefully with the help of the class name. What is our class name? Our class name we are having example, and with the help of the example we are calling the method called main here. Getting the point? Whenever we are calling here, so we are doing the operation. So the doing the operation is different here. So based on our requirement, we are going to implement the particular section of code here. But back to here, the calling is important here. So now you understand here. Basically, if the static keyword is not available, now what are the steps we need to follow? First, we need to create an object. With the help of the object reference, we need to call the main method. Right. So same thing with the help of the static keyword. Now what we are doing is we are not creating any object here, and we are not calling there with the object reference. Getting the point? With the reference of the particular object, we are not going to call any main method here. We are calling the method with the reference of class name. Getting the point? With the reference of class name, we are calling the method here. So here we are not going to creating anything, so that we are saving the object or not. Getting the point? Just for calling here, we don't want to creating any object here. So that simple we can access with the reference of static keyword here. Getting the point? So this is the purpose of this particular static keyword here. So basically we'll see more information on this particular static here, because not only the main method, the static, we are going to use our custom methods here. So that we can discuss in our upcoming classes here. So back to here, void here. Getting the point? So basically, void is one of the keyword here. So what is the purpose of this particular void here? Getting the point? So this is also very important, we need to discuss here. Basically, methods are going to return some value here. Method will return some value based on our requirement here. Based on our requirement, the methods are going to return values. So for example, so we'll go back to the test method here. Observe here, instead of this particular void here, now what I want to do, I want to return int here. I'm making something called int here, int. So basically, this is also one more keyword here. Observe here. So see the difference between test method and main method here. The main method having the void, the test method having int here. And here, whenever we are making this particular int here, we need to return something. Here. I'm trying to return 0 here. Getting the point? I'm trying to return 0. So whenever we are calling this particular test method, the test method will return some value. So you can do any other operations here. So I'm not doing any operation here. Simply I'm trying to print the value here. Getting the point? So this is important here. So carefully observe here the return type purpose here, like how we are going to handle here. Now what I want to provide here, like the test method, we define the test method here. The test method is returning some value. For the current example, this value is returning as a 0. So now I'm storing the value into the variable called value, and I'm printing the the way the variable information. So whenever we are printing here, the value is going to print here. Okay. So back to here, the main method here. So we want to focus more on the main method here. So what happens internally? So just for understanding here, I'm trying to provide the int here. So whenever we are trying to change to int here, now what happens internally? So again, we need to return some value here. Now I'm trying to return 12 here. I'm trying to return 12. So back to here, the main method I changed here, the main method is returning value 12 here. Basically, back to your test method, so we want to understand here. Whenever we are calling the test method, the test is returning the value. Now we are storing into the different variable and we are doing the some other operations here. Same thing, the main method also calling some location here. The main method is calling from the JVM here. So the JVM, it need to handle the value like this here. The JVM, it need to handle the value into value. So the value, like this particular variable, the variable called value will holding the 12 here. This particular value, the variable is holding the value called 12 here. Right. So what JVM can do with the 12 value? Getting the point. So we are calling the main method. The main method returning the value called 12. So just simple 12 here. JVM, what it will do this particular 12 value? Getting the point. JVM cannot do any other operations here. JVM cannot do any operation. So which is going to return by the main method here. Getting the point. So instead of returning the value, now what I am doing here, I'm making the void here. I'm making void here. So whenever we are making the void, now what happens internally? The method is not going to return anything here. The method, the name of the method called main, it's not going to return any value. So not only the main, in our application, if you're not interested to return any value, now what we can do? So we can go for this particular void here. Getting the point. So this is important here. But here coming back to the main method, the main method is calling from the JVM. If I'm trying to return some value, JVM cannot do any operation with the return value. Right. So because of this, the main method we are making as a void here. Right. So any questions regarding this particular three keywords here? Public static void. Anyone having any questions? Please let me know. Okay. So we need to go back to this section here. So strings. So we'll see the protected and the default in our upcoming classes here. So it's not a right time to discuss this particular the remaining access modifier here. Basically, we are focusing on this particular section of code here. So to understand this particular section of code, I introduced this particular access modifiers here. But we want to discuss more information on the even public, private, protected, and default here. So we can discuss in our upcoming classes. Basically, the protected we are going to discuss more on the packages. So when we are trying to discuss the package section, we can discuss the protected keyboard here. Okay. So back to here, string aux here. Before going to discuss this particular string aux here, now I want to discuss here. If we observe here, so this particular brace is having the different style here. This particular brace is having the different style here. So where we can use this particular braces and where we can use this particular braces here. Getting the point. So this we need to understand very carefully first here. Observe here. So this section, what is the purpose here? Same way, what is the purpose of this? Same way, what is the purpose of this? Getting the point. We are having this particular different to braces here. Different to braces here. So this particular braces here, so which is going to provide the scope here. So which is going to provide the scope of the method or the class wherever we are trying to use, which is going to provide the scope here. And what about this? Basically, if I want to define any values, array of values here, getting the point, array of values here. So we can discuss more on the when we are trying to discuss the array related example here. Right. So back to here, what exactly this particular the current basis here. So parameters information. So we can see parameter list. So this is very important here. So this particular section which is going to take care of the parameters. So and this going to take care of the array of values here, and this going to take care of the scope here. Now we can observe here. So when we are trying to discuss here, now we are inside the main method scope, and now we are inside the class scope. So scopes also very important here. So now we can see the scope related examples also, but observe carefully here. So this particular base is going to define the scope, and this particular base is going to provide the parameter here. So this particular parameter we are going to work with constructors and methods here. So this is the one parameter here. The parameters we are going to define with the comma here. So if we are interested to define the another parameter, we can work like this here. So this particular main method will handle two parameters here. Two parameters. So how I am explaining this particular method is going to handle the two parameters here, because so the comma is going to differentiate the parameters here. The comma is going to differentiate the parameter. Okay. So back to here, basically the first parameter is going to provide the data type here. So what is the type of the value we are going to store? What is the type of the value we are going to store? The first one we are storing as a string here. The second one we are storing as a int value. So observe, this is the type of the value. The value is going to store in the args here. Getting the point? So observe carefully, just it is providing the type of the value here, but actual value is going to store in the args here. Same way, the type is going to provide as the int. The value is going to store as a actual value is going to store in the variable called value. Getting the point? So this is important here. Whenever we are trying to define any method, first we need to check with the type here. So what is the type we want to provide, and what is the name of the variable here. Right. So back to here, the main method here. So we need to discuss the main method here. So basically, main method is going to store on the method is taking only one parameter. The parameter type here, string here. The parameter values are going to store args here. Okay. Back to here. Now what I want to do, I want to print those parameters here. So basically, so we can discuss more on this particular parameter later here. Getting the point? So just for understanding, I'm trying to take in here. Observe here. Let me comment out this particular section here. The comments also we can see. So now we completed the public static void. Now we are discussing the args here. So observe carefully how we can access this particular args here. Right. So back to here. Clear the console. Java C. Again I want to compile. If I'm trying to change anything inside this particular file called example, we need to compile the code. Getting the point? So this is very important here. After compiling the code only, we need to run our example. If I'm not compiling, what happens internally? So whatever the previous dot class file we are having, based on the previous dot class file only, we are going to execute the simple example here. So to get the latest changes here, now what we need to do, we need to compile the code here. So Java C example.java, compiling the code, compilation successful here. Java example here. Now what happened here? So array index out of bound exception. I'm getting an exception here. So why I'm getting an exception? Basically, we did not provide the values here. We are trying to access the value, but the value we did not provide it as of now here. So observe here, if I'm going to provide the value, observe here. So testing. Observe carefully. Here I'm trying to provide the testing here. But if I'm going to click on enter here, I'm not getting any exception here. But now you can see we are getting a value here. So let's see. Let me increase the. Okay, maybe the style is changed here. Okay, let me increase the font size. Okay, observe here. So initially, whenever I'm trying to check with the Java example, now what happened internally? We are getting an exception here. Array index out of bound exception. Getting the points. So if we want to understand here, now we can read this particular message. Index 0 out of bound for the length 0. So you cannot understand here what is the index 0 out of bound for the length 0. We'll have this particular exception in our upcoming classes here. Why we are getting this particular example. I will explain more on this particular exception in our upcoming classes here. So back to here, after providing this particular testing here, the same testing I'm getting here. First I'm getting welcome to Java. Now you can see, so welcome to Java is printing here, and later we are printing aux 0. So what is the value the aux 0 is having here? The value is having testing here. Whatever the value we are passing here, the same value we are printing here. Getting the point. Now what you are understanding here? Basically the main method, so the main method having one parameter string aux here. This particular aux here will going to handle the value, so which is going to coming from the command prompt. The values are going to coming from the command prompt. So the value I'm trying to pass as a testing from the command prompt. The value is handling inside this particular aux here. The same aux is going to printing here. Getting the point. So now what you are understanding here. So the main method having the parameter value we can pass from the command prompt. So observe here. Now I'm trying to connect with another one, aux1 here. aux1. I'm adding the message here. So like second value and first value. Let me compile the same example one more time. Clear this console, compile the Java C compile.java and execute it. So I'm passing first value as a testing, second value Java. First value I'm passing as a testing, second value I'm giving as a Java. Now you can see So welcome to Java. We understand here. First value testing, second value Java. Getting the point. So whatever the value we are giving from the command prompt, the values are going to handle with the help of this particular aux variable, and we are printing the value. Getting the point. Now we understand the purpose of this particular main method parameter here. Still anyone having any questions, please let me know. So regarding our main method here. Regarding our main method. Okay. So now we need to focus on the okay. So you are trying to change this particular type here. So observe here, I'm trying to change the different type here. So observe here, if I'm going to compile the code, let me clear the console. Now what happened internally? The compilation got successful here. So Java, example testing Java. Now what happened internally? So you need to read this particular error message. So first you need to read this particular message and you need to provide the information to me why we are getting this particular error here. Yes. So basically, so we can work with the main method, but here, so whatever the main method is coming from the JVM, the particular main method, we need a stringed data type here, not the int data type. So because of this particular int data type here, the compiler cannot find the main method, but we are having the main method here, but still the compiler cannot find the main method here. So observe here, if I'm going to copy string here, I want to comment out these two sections here. So from the which line number you are trying to give the parameters as the numbers? No, it cannot take. Okay. So good question. Let me save the. Again, I want to compile. Java example 1, 2. Getting the point. So even we are giving the numbers also, still we are getting an error here. The main method not found here. Getting the point. So now what you are understanding here? So the main method, it's going to work with into data type. Okay, so back to here. Now what I want to do, I want to check with so I'm defining main method which is expecting int as a parameter. So one more main method I'm defining, so which is expecting string as a parameter here. So observe carefully. console here, compiled. So it's compiled successfully. Now observe here. What happens internally? Whatever the value we are giving, which is printing here. So now test Java. Right. We can define the main method here. But here, whatever the main method we are following here, so we need to define this main method here. You can define the different data types, no problem here. But finally, we need this particular main method. So we need to follow this syntax here. Why we need to follow this particular syntax here? Basically, the main method which is calling from the JVM is going to follow the same syntaxes here. Is going to follow the same syntaxes, the line number 7, what we implemented here. Getting the point. So these are about the main method, and now we understand the class keyword here. Finally, we need to check with the system here. So what is a system here? Basically, system is a one class here. So how we are creating the example here? Same way, system is also one class here, but it is a predefined class. Predefined class is nothing but the micros people are provided the classes we are going to call as a predefined classes here. So this particular example is a custom class. The custom classes we are going to create as a developer. The predefined classes are going to created by the Sun Microsystem people here. Getting the point. Now it is migrated to the Oracle people. So the Oracle people provided the classes we are going to call as a predefined classes here. Right. So with the help of this particular predefined class, we are calling the one reference here. What is the reference we are calling? Yes. For the predefined classes here, we don't need to provide any imports here. I know the system is available inside the package called java.lang package here. So I will explain here how exactly the imports we need to follow here. So the import section we can discuss when we are trying to discuss with the packages here. So back to here, with the help of this particular variable here, reference variable we are going to call out is a reference variable. So how we created in the previous example something called ex here. Ex is also one variable here. Same way we are having the variable called out here. With the reference of this particular out, now what we are doing here, we are calling the method here. So println is a method here, which is expecting string data type here. How the main method is expecting here, string data type here. Same way, this particular println method is going to expecting as a string data type here. So whenever the string data type is expecting here, we need to work with double quotes here. So within the double quotes, we need to provide the information. So whatever the information we are going to provide within the double quotes, so the compiler is going to treat it as the message as a string data type here. String data type here. So this section is very important here. Now understand here. So with the help of this particular println method, now what we are doing here, we are printing the whatever the message we are going to provide as a parameter of the println method, the message is going to print on the console here. So the same information we are seeing inside this particular console here. Right. So these are about the simple example on this particular example class. Okay. So back to here, I want to provide the one more simple example here. So this simple example, you need to provide the more information. So how exactly the second example is going to work? Okay. So let me take with another example. So control N Java example 2. So now arcs here. Okay. So carefully observe here. I'm creating one more example here. This second example I'm taking as a different to data type here. So what is the data type I'm taking here? Into data type here. Okay. I'm declaring this particular data variable called number, and I'm initializing the value called 100 here. Getting the point. After this, now what I'm doing here. So carefully observe here, num is equals to num multiplication of 2. System dot out dot println. I want to print this particular number value. So carefully observe here, this is the second example we are trying to discuss here. Now we already understand here the class and main method here. We need to focus on the int here. So basically, this is the one of the data type which is available in Java. So we'll have a more information in our tomorrow class here, like what exactly the data types we are going to have. Okay. So just for understanding, we need to focus on this example here. Whenever we are trying to define like this here. So this is the name of the data type, and this is the variable name. Getting the point. So this is a variable name. So what is the purpose of this particular variable here? Basically, which is going to initialize the value based on the data type here. Based on the data type here. Number is a variable, sorry, number is the variable which having the data type called integer. Now, what is the value we are initializing here? 100. Getting the point. So this section we are going to call as a declaration. So this section we are going to call as a initialization. Getting the point. So this is very important here. So declaration section and initialization here. So when we can declare the declaration section, and when we can go for the initialization here. So I will provide these two information in our upcoming classes here. Getting the point. Just for understanding, I'm providing here. So how we are going to declare the variable and how we are going to initialize the value. So whenever we are declaring this particular number, so we cannot get directly the 100 here. If we want to get this particular 100, we need to initialize with the help of this particular equal here. The single equal is going to provide the initialization here. The single equal which is going to provide the initialization here. Now what happens internally? Observe here. Now I want to copy the same example here into our MS Paint here. Let me observe here. Now what I'm doing here, I'm defining this particular code here. So basically, internally, I want to provide the execution style here. Execution style here. Right. Here we define the num here. Initially, it's having the value called 0. So whenever we are trying to declare this section here, whenever we are trying to declare this particular section, what happens internally? The default value, we are going to have 0. And when the value is initialized here, the 0 is going to, the 0 will become 100 here. The 0 will become 100 here. Cutting the point. And after doing the other operation here, it will become 200 here. The value is going to change like this here. The value is going to change like this here. So if I'm going to execute the same example, So back to here, save this particular example, save as example2.java, console, Java C, compile the code and do execute. Example 2. Number value, how much we are having? So 200 here. Getting the point. So this is important here. How the values change here. So this section also important here. So initially, what is the value, the number we are having here? This particular number initially is 0 and the 0 will become 100 here. So when this particular 0 will become 100, whenever the initializer section will happen here, internally the 0 will become 100. And whenever we are trying to work with this particular multiplication operation, so the 100 will become 200. Right. But if you observe carefully, we are doing this particular operation here. We are doing this particular multiplication operation here. So while doing this particular multiplication operation, so what is the number here? What is the number? Number is having the some value. What is the value it's having here? So it's having the value called 100 here. Getting the point? So it's having the value called 100 here. So with the help of this particular 100, it's trying to do the multiplication operation. After completion of this particular multiplication, the same value we are trying to store into the same variable here. So this section important here. So it's doing the, after doing the multiplication, is trying to initializing the value. Observe here. Here also we are initializing here. Same way here also we are initializing. Here also we are initializing here. Getting the point. So while initializing the line number 4, we are getting an 100. While initializing this particular line number 5, we are getting an 200 here. Getting the point. So this is also very important example we are discussing here. Anyone having any questions regarding this particular second example? Anyone having any questions here regarding this particular second example? Okay. So if we don't have anything here, we'll try to check with the remaining examples tomorrow. And first we'll check with some of the control statements here. So later we'll check with data types here. So what are the data types we are having here? So how exactly the each data type is going to work internally? We are going to have in our tomorrow class here. So if anyone having any questions regarding our today's sessions, please let me know. So otherwise, we can conclude the today class and we'll continue tomorrow. So that we can check with upcoming classes, don't worry. So JEDK and JVM, how exactly it's going to work. So I'm not recommending as of from any ID. So try to check with example with a Notepad++ or any something, text++ something. Don't implement any example in the IDE. Basically, IDE is going to provide the default compiler. So if you are trying to miss anything, IDE will identify and is giving a error here. So I'm recommending on everyone try to implement the example with a Notepad++. So this is the best option. Okay. So we'll continue tomorrow.